Okay, so with this one, I'm going to use my 1-point perspective technique that I learned. I'm going to draw a horizon line at the center of the page, or the center of the folded page, put a vanishing point on my left-hand side. Then I'm going to draw myself a little square as neatly as possible. If I want to use a ruler, I can. If I don't want to, because I don't think I need to, that's okay. I'm going to take these 3 points and connect it to the vanishing point like we learned in week 2. Oops, Miss Carb's ruler moved. So, gotta fix it. There we go. And then connect. And connect. Now I'm going to connect these 2 lines with a vertical and these 2 lines with a horizontal. I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to erase it. And I don't need all my horizon lines, so I'm going to erase from about here over. Maybe a little bit more. And then I'm going to erase from the dot over. I'm going to turn this line into a rectangle so I have a window by doing 2 vertical lines going to the top of my page. And then I'm going to put in a plus sign in the center. And then I'm going to put, again, 2 more parallel lines for my plus sign. At the bottom and top corners, I'm going to do 2 diagonal lines. These diagonal lines are my light source coming through my window. And then I need to draw my shadow. So I'm going to line my ruler up with the bottom of my cube, come outwards. I'm going to go horizontal and outwards, horizontal and outwards. And then it makes a kind of weird little pointy thing right here. And I've drawn my cube in my entire space. Now I need to apply my value. To apply my value, you're used to probably holding your pencil like this, but if you hold your pencil on its side, it will apply value over a larger surface area faster and it'll look cleaner. So I'm going to start with my darkest value first because it's easier to start dark and then go to light. So it's darker on the inside of that shadow, then it starts going lighter, and I'm pressing down lighter as I'm going across. The next value is going to be this side of the cube. Again, it's fairly dark, but not super dark, except when you get to the top corner, it has a little dark curvy area. This side right here is slightly dark, so I'm just barely pressing on it. And the top of the cube is almost white. Now my next dark areas is going to be my background where the light is not coming through the light source. So I'm going to press with the side of my pencil, fairly dark, moving all the way from bottom to top, because I feel like that's my best way of moving. You might want to go from top to bottom. If your pencil isn't giving you the best value on one side, just rotate your pencil as you're working up and across. Then I'm going to come down here and apply value again. Got a little thin area to add value to. and then my window pane. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tissue, because we have all got greasy fingers. It doesn't matter how many times we wash our hands, we produce naturally lots of oils on our skin. It's kind of like nature's lotion. So we don't want to push the oils into our paper. So I'm going to blend with this tissue so I'm not pushing my dirty, oily fingers, grease, into my paper. It also is going to save me some time when I need to apply value to this region, because I don't even have to put my pencil down on the paper. I just use the dirty part of my tissue and I've applied value. Now, if I think something looks too messy, like right here, I can use my eraser as a drawing tool and erase out the value to clean it up. So that way, things like my light source are the brightest areas in the artwork. If I think things have gotten too muddy and not enough value is being shown, I can always come back in and push those darker darks a little bit more, so that way it reads well. So that's your first drawing. Questions? No? All right. Second drawing. I'm going to flip my paper over because I'm trying to use my paper wisely. Again, I'm going to put my ruler down because there's a very clear horizon line in this artwork. Then I'm going to draw my sphere. My sphere, basically, before it becomes a sphere, is just a circle. Underneath my sphere, I'm going to do what is called an ellipse. It's almost like an oval. It's the shadow that's being cast off the sphere. Now, to apply my value again, I'm going to make sure that I'm going from my darkest darks to my lightest lights. So my shadow is one of my darkest darks. Where it's closest to the sphere, that is the darkest area. And as it gets further away from the sphere, it starts getting lighter. And then my next darkest dark is right here, because my value transitions from dark to a lighter middle tone. So I'm going to again press hard with my pencil. And as I'm moving across, I'm going to start pressing lighter. You should be able to see that there's a change in the value based off the pressure that I'm placing on the paper with the material. I'm going to come down here to the bottom and apply some value too. It also is darker on one side and it gets lighter as I go across. I'm going to go on and blend it because I know that it's going to be harder to blend it once I have my sphere drawn. And if I've got to do any cleaning up of things or pushing things a little bit darker, now's my time that I'm going to do that on the background. Blend it one more time, and then I'm going to work on that sphere. Now, if you notice in the sphere right here, is kind of like a crescent moon shape. So that's where I'm going to start off first with my darkest value, doing that crescent moon shape. And then it starts getting a little bit lighter as it goes down because the light reflects off the table surface into the object. I don't know the science behind that, but I do know the artistic principle behind it, that light reflects. I'm sure if you go to your science teachers, Miss Heron or Miss Mosby, they could tell you the science behind it. Now I'm going to start getting lighter going upwards. In almost a circular shape. Going to blend it. And if I need to push areas darker, now's my time to start pushing those areas darker, cleaning up my edges. So it still reads like a sphere. And it's the value that transforms that one little object, that one little drawing, that shape, into a three-dimensional form. Now there's some areas where the highlights are very bright. I can use my eraser as a drawing tool to make those highlights brighter. Instead of going around a circle, I just erase out a circle. Instead of going around 3 lines, just erase out my 3 lines. Is there any questions? All right, I should upload that video probably by the end of today, or at least by the end of this class. That way, if you need to rewatch how I drew those, you can rewatch how I drew those.